All right, welcome back, everybody. We are without our producer, so we'll see how this rolls. We got a
miss you,
here.
Spencer.
Yeah, we miss you.
We miss you.
Got Colby here today, but episode 10, we're going to get into our overview. It's going to be on driver owners. We're going to recap Texas, talk about who stood out. We're going to drop the green bets. Spencer left some notes for me, so I'm going to sound really smart.
Nice.
And then we'll get into Talladega Predictions, close with some stupid questions. My name's Austin.
My name's Colby.
Let's drop the green. So we'll just kind of pause to give him time, and then I will let's make a note. We don't have a timer.
Airplane boy, no phone, train.
All right, we'll give it like 10 seconds.
I hope he doesn't do the song. It's just us.
It's just us acting like fucking idiots. All right, 2, 5, 4. Good. All right, back in it. Like we said earlier, we got Colby here today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. Spencer's on a bachelor party trip. They took a 4-day bachelor party trip, so I guess we're women now.
What is that? Wait, what does that mean?
A 4-day bachelor party trip?
Is that like too long or not long
I think
enough?
that's too long.
No.
I think that's too long.
I mean, but it's a destination one. I mean, if you do any less than 4 days, it's. I mean, you're going all the way out there.
Yeah, I guess. I just
You know?
so long. I'm really just sour that I had to figure out how to work all this. I don't even know how to send an email. I appreciate Colby coming in here and doing this. But we'll get right into it. Episode 10. Colby, who is your episode 10 going to be dedicated to?
I just want it to be known that you put down Eric Almirola.
For Spencer.
And I was
Spencer
like,
wanted.
Ew. When I saw, you know.
No, thank you.
Yeah. I'm not some Smithfield clone, like all their meat. But my episode 10 driver's Ricky Rudd.
Oh, the rooster.
You may remember him, the rooster.
Yeah.
The rooster. A way to steal that. So Ricky Rudd, man, he 26 wins. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
26
Same as Dale
wins.
Jr.
Yeah, same as Dale Jr. So Ricky Rudd is, in my mind, one of the first drivers that started his own team that was actually pretty successful. So, like I said, he had 26 wins, but 6 of those wins with his own team, Rudd Performance.
Nice.
And he only had it for like 5 years. It was like from 94 to 99, and he drove that 10 Tide car. Yeah.
Iconic.
When you said 10, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the Tide car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't think of that, but yeah. And I remember him being like the 21 for a period too.
Yes.
And he actually drove the 3 for Richard Childress.
Yeah.
Like after Dale left and before he came back.
Yeah. Then you drive the 28, like a Texaco car.
Yes, that's what I remember him from, is the 28 Texaco car.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Debbie Allison's car.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's pretty cool dude. Anything else stick out about him?
No, man, I think that's it, you know.
So he was kind of a road course ringer before that was a thing.
Okay.
So it was always good at road courses, just for whatever reason. You got to remember, back then they could give 2 shits less about going to road courses. Like some of these guys were just like, it's 2 races a year. I'm just gonna.
Why even try?
Yeah, I'm just gonna mail it home
Yeah.
for the week.
Yeah.
There was one, and I wish I knew the time of the year, but he got in a wreck, and it swole his eyes shut. And the next week he came to the track with his eyes taped open because he was like, I can't see, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tape my eyes open.
Yeah.
So that's pretty iconic. He got into a fight more or less with Kevin Harvick, kind of on the tail end of his career.
He probably deserved it.
And when Kevin Harvick was just a hellion coming through.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like, I don't know what happened to him. Like he retired and then he just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I have no idea what is he still alive?
He's definitely still alive.
He's still alive. That's good.
Yeah, he's alive. He was on the Dale Jr. download like
I think he's a listener
2
too.
or 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
I'm
you're
sure,
I hope you're doing well, bro.
This is for you, Mr.
Yeah.
And but I think he was there for like the 75 greatest drivers.
Yeah.
Darlington, but
Yeah.
like I don't know what he does on a daily basis.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I mean-
I wish he was around more.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he seems like it.
He was like one of those iconic, just when you think of old NASCAR, you think of Ricky Rudd.
Yeah.
And what a NASCAR name.
That is a NASCAR name.
It is
People don't have cool nicknames anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I mean,
Yeah.
not like Ricky Rudd's cool enough, but then he's the Rooster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Now we got William Byron.
Yeah, William Byron, Lego Boy.
Yeah. Like
yeah,
a boy,
yeah,
what is
yeah,
it? He's
yeah.
not a Rooster. All right. Well, I like Ricky Rudd. So I went.
I bet you went with someone way more cool.
Yeah, dude. I kind of went opposite direction. I went with Danica Patrick.
Okay. Okay.
So, she does not have 26 Cup wins.
No. How many does she have?
0.
Great pick.
Yeah. So when I think of the 10, for some reason, I mean, I just think of that green and orange GoDaddy car.
Oh yeah.
And like Danica was such a huge deal, not performance related at all, but she was just a huge deal.
Yeah.
So she was born March 25th, 1982.
Okay.
So she's kind of getting up there now.
I hope you had to look that up.
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So she was a big deal. I don't know if you remember back in the day, like in IndyCar, when she first, she came from IndyCar.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So like even when she was in Indy, she was like a celebrity. She had like the GoDaddy stuff, and like she was hot.
She had some risque GoDaddy commercials.
She did, yes.
Yes, I remember.
So
I remember watching those when I was little.
I remember watching those because like I don't know if you remember this, but GoDaddy's whole thing was like you used them to make a website.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, so I'm young, right?
Yeah.
Coming into my adulthood.
Yeah.
My confusing time.
Figuring stuff out.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they'd have these commercials. It'd be like Danica, like washing a car, and like her clothes would start ripping off.
Yeah.
It'd be like, go to GoDaddy.com to see more. I remember being like,
you about signed up for a website.
I'm like, I gotta get the computer.
Got the
So
AOL dial-up going.
I'm like, GoDaddy, like looking over.
Yeah.
GoDaddy.com. It's like, click here to see more. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't press that button fast enough, and it's
Yeah.
like, sign up here for your domain name. Like that was the trick.
Yeah.
To get you to go in there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no tits.
I mean,
at all.
it had to work on so many people.
Yeah.
Because they stayed with her for a really long time.
A long time.
Yep.
So she was in Indy. She ran 116 races in IndyCar. 2005 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year.
Nice.
And 2005 Indy Series Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Okay. So we started strong.
Sounds like the same thing.
Well, the Indy 500 is a specific race.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
116 wins in Indy, 1 win. One win. It was a fuel mileage win in Japan.
Okay, still counts.
Good for her. Yeah, wins a win. So she decides to make the jump over to NASCAR. She goes to ARCA. She raced for Junior Motorsports for a little while.
Nice.
But we'll just get straight into the 10 car. So from 2013 to 2017, sorry, I'm just looking at the stats. Oh my god, it's so funny.
I like how mine's like the Rooster, and yours is like, well, she had some good commercials.
Yeah. She was a driver. 191 Cup Series races, right?
That's a lot. That's good for her.
0 wins.
Okay.
1 pole. She got the Daytona 500 pole.
Nice. I didn't know that.
I don't know if we'll get into this another time. There's like a conspiracy about the Daytona 500 pole.
Okay.
Like them allowing people.
Okay.
I buy into
Another
it.
time.
Yeah, I buy into it.
Okay.
I don't know if other people do. So 1 pole, 7 top 10s.
That's good.
Career high of 24th in points. So some people will be like if you're a recent fan, like even Spencer right now, you'd probably be like, well, what was Stuart Haas like back then?
That's a good question.
Kevin Harvick won the championship.
Well, probably all the resources were to one car, though. I mean, we see that nowadays.
Gene Haas is a billionaire, so I don't think there's.
I don't know.
I don't think that was the case. Basically, when she came in, they I don't know why they brought her. I mean, obviously the sponsorship.
She's a talented race car driver.
She's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, she can run. Well, I was gonna say she could run and not wreck by herself, but there's a lot of that. But the funniest thing to me was she would be back there in a Stuart Haas car, and she'd be like banging doors with Landon Castle. And there was one where I'll never forget this. I think Landon was racing for like BK Racing, and just was like racing her, and she decided to retaliate, tried to wreck him, and wrecked herself.
Mm.
And Landon Castle got on the radio. It's an iconic quote. He said, "Rule number 1 of stock car racing: if you're gonna wreck somebody, don't wreck yourself." Once again, she's in a store. I'm sure Ken Harvick was like fucking leading.
Yeah,
she's back there like slamming doors for 30 seconds. So more or less, she gets kicked out of her ride in 2017. She came back in 2018, and she ran the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500.
Mm.
I think she finished like 30th in the Indy 500 and like 50th in the Daytona 500. I don't know. It was terrible.
Okay.
But, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so I just...
Gassy boy.
Yeah, a little gassy.
Yeah. You want me to burp you like a baby?
Yeah, please. Like I'm Danica. But,
well,
yeah, I picked her, like I said, just because that 10 car.
Yeah.
I mean, it was...
Yeah, and she reappeared in NASCAR this past year as well. She decided to go on Twitter or Instagram and slam my boy Truex Jr.
over his dead.
She lost some like television thing. It was like it wasn't Flow Racing. It was one of those things.
Well, she has her own podcast too, so we don't have to go too far deep into this. So
we might have the same amount of listeners.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So this has been for you remember Sunday Money, Corey LaJoy's podcast.
Great podcast.
This is back when Corey was cool.
Yeah.
So he went on like a Ford retreat.
You had a little crush on him.
Got a little crush on him. Right?
Yeah, you
I
did.
sell the shirts on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
But so he went on like a Ford retreat. All the Ford drivers. This is when he was with Go Fast.
Yeah.
And his co-star or co-host Daryl was like, he's like, let me hear about some of these drivers. Let's hear some funny stories. And Ricky and Danica had just broke up. And Daryl's like, let me hear the Ricky Danica beef. And Corey's like, you want to hear it? And so evidently,
Moonrocks.
Yes,
I do remember that episode. Ricky said that
he was laying in bed, and Danica's like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, somebody just broke in my house. You know, like, what's wrong? He's like, "What's wrong?" And Danica goes, "I didn't charge my rocks." And he's like, at that moment, I knew like I couldn't be with a woman who has to charge her rocks under a full moon.
That's hilarious.
And then it was like she wanted like a 6-figure stove in their house too. He's like, she didn't even fucking cook. So, yeah, she's fucking nuts.
I bet Ricky Stenhouse is like probably one of the coolest dudes.
Dude, how many great stories do you think he has just from being... I mean, he was with Danica Patrick for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
And she was older than him, too.
Okay.
Like, by quite a bit.
He probably saw those GoDaddy commercials.
He might have. Yeah, he was get on the family computer. Sneak into the office later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I kind of feel bad for picking her now that you picked her. I didn't feel as bad when Spencer said he wanted Eric Almirola, but then you just come in here with Ricky Rudd, and I'm like...
Well, to be honest with you, when you emailed this to me today and I had 2 hours to prepare,
right.
Let that be known to the listeners. I'd never have more of a 2 to 3 hour notice.
Because you're a pinch hitter.
Yeah, my name's not even on the screen.
We're just calling you
my name. But, yeah, I saw that and I was confused because I was like, man, I thought he would have picked Ricky Rudd. And I was like, well, I
didn't even think about it.
I'm going to show him up. There's not a whole lot of good 10 drivers, though.
There's not.
I mean...
and even still, when I see the font of the 10, I still think Danica.
Yeah.
I mean, she just, like, lives on in my fantasy.
I'm, like, still... I'm programmed now where I'm thinking Noah. You know? Yeah, because I think... I'm a big fan of Noah.
I am, too.
Yeah, I think he's super cool.
But I don't think he's had the same paint scheme twice this year. Which
not a lot of drivers have.
I don't know, man.
Be honest with you. I mean...
I feel like he's changed more than...
I think... not to get way off topic, but I think Stuart Haas has more of a funding issue than like a Hendrick or a JGR.
Sure. Which is weird because Gene Haas could easily just put Haas on every single one.
Billionaires don't like to spend a lot of their money, especially if their team hasn't won since 2022.
2022, yeah. They didn't win a single race last year.
Yeah.
It's not looking likely this year.
Yeah.
So okay.
Last guy who won a race for him's up there chuckling it up with Clint Boyer right now.
Yeah. Playing grab ass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, episode 10.
Here we are.
Episode 10, the Ricky Rudd, Danica Patrick edition. What a combo.
What a time.
So this week's overview, I kind of wanted to do driver owners.
Okay.
We can go a couple different ways with this, but I just want to start out by saying, back in the day, those two words were one and the same.
Okay.
So if you owned a car, you drove the car, right?
Yeah.
And even just real quick, you know who the first driver for Richard Childress Racing was?
Probably Richard Childress. Didn't he used to drive?
He used to drive, yeah.
Okay.
So he finally was not very good.
Really?
Runs in the family, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, that's a good one. That's a real good one. Yeah.
So he kind of, the way he tells it, just cheated up and drove a 300 right there. So
never done that before.
He claims that someone told him, and he said a name that like hey, if you want to be serious about this, you need to put someone else in your car. And that's when he got Dale Earnhardt. Now, then Dale left but came back, but that's kind of what started that. But back in the day, I mean, that's if you owned a car, you drove it. And then we kind of got into more of the, then drivers were owners, kind of like Richard. Then there's people before Rick, but I think Rick kind of ushered in this new movement of like, I'm just interested in racing and I'm fucking loaded.
Yeah.
I'm going to start
a car. I don't want to drive a car.
And I don't want to drive a car.
Yeah.
So you kind of get into there. So now and then, it's not too uncommon. We've seen it now. We've seen it before. We have people that drive and own a team, but not just a one-car team. So like our Tony Stewart's, Brad now.
Yeah. Denny,
right. And that's kind of where I wanted to take this was people that own a team but drive for a different team. Okay, so, and I'll let you kind of talk on driver owners and what you think of it in general, but I kind of want to think what you think about people that drive for one team and own another.
I don't see a problem with it on a small scale, actually. So, and I know a lot of people hate Denny Hamlin, but if there's any man out there that should do it, it's Denny Hamlin, because Denny Hamlin would wreck his own car to win a race.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think
he races Bubba and Tyler harder than anybody else.
And I don't think other drivers would do that. And I think it would really null the kind of competition, but I don't like it. I guess I don't like it in a way because I don't want it to start happening. Because if it starts happening, you're going to start seeing, I'm pretty sure, I don't even know a name. Josh Berry owns a team. I'm pretty sure, Josh Berry doesn't pass his own car when you think he could have to win the race. And it's like, is this taking away competition? That might become an issue at some point. Brad's not an issue because that man can't.
And he owns his own. He owns the team he's driving for, right?
Yeah, he wants to win whatever, but he just can't find victory lane to save his damn life.
His life, no. And I would
hopefully
say,
this week.
Not to get too dark.
Yeah.
But Dale was a driver that three's up. He owned a team and drove for another one, right? And lost his life blocking for his team to win.
Way to not get dark.
I got dark.
Yeah.
The cloud is above me.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, all these people now.
You know who else drove the 10 car? Sterling.
No, he didn't.
He did for a little bit. No, he did drive a 10 car for a little bit.
Did you see that in your...
When I was Googling the 10 car. Yeah, because I thought of Ricky Rudd, and then I was like, is there anybody else? And you got to check, you know what I mean? You got to check, so...
that was probably early.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I saw it, and I was like, well...
Off topic. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
we've talked about death and Danica.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. 10.
No, I just see a lot of people complain about Denny. They're like, anything that happens, like even when Denny won, where did he just win?
What?
Where did Denny just win?
He won Martinsville.
He didn't win. No, he won Richmond.
Richmond. Yes, Richmond.
And Bubba spun.
Sorry, they were both so boring.
Yeah,
but
Bubba spun Larson at the end. Everyone's like accusing Bubba of doing that because
it's almost like William Byron this week.
Not really. Well, no. We'll get into that.
All right.
But like people complain, they're like, "Well, Denny, it's a conflict of interest." And it's like no one had a problem with it when Dale was like driving for RCR and owned DEI.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up. But do you think? So you talked about people that own one team and drive for another. What about like Brad? Who's a driver?
I love that. I wish there was more of it.
That's taken away because Tony did it and was fine.
Yeah.
Right. Tony won a championship, his third championship for his own team. Do you feel like Brad, with all the uphill battle he has because of how shitty Roush was, you feel like it's taken away from his time to focus on being a driver?
I don't care if it did. It's
okay. Well, I'm just asking you.
Well, I mean, I don't care.
It's a yes or I don't care if you care.
No. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
No. Well. This is. I mean,
I feel like it is. I really do.
Penske.
What do you mean Penske?
I mean, like What, you want him to go back over to Penske?
No, I don't want him to do anything.
They can't win at all.
No.
Brad has a better chance at RFK than he does at Penske.
Okay. I mean, let me preface this by saying I'm not advocating for him to do something.
I feel like you're advocating.
I'm not advocating.
Get
for
your
shit.
picket signs out.
No, we're not going on strike. All I'm saying is,
you little advocating Arnold over there, dude.
I think that maybe it's taken away a little bit from him focusing on the on-track product. Not that I give a shit either way.
I don't think it has.
Okay.
I think that it literally motivates
Chris
him.
Buescher's won 4 races since Brad's been an owner.
Yeah. I mean, I think I hate to say this, and I hate that there's a microphone in front of me when I'm about to say this, but
you're going to say it anyway.
Brad Keselowski's a great race car driver, but maybe it's like, and I know we got a bunch of Harvick flags in here, but maybe it's like Harvick. Maybe it's starting to get harder to win.
He's only 39.
I know, that's old.
That's the peak. That's the statistical peak.
Hey. You're talking about in olden days? Dude, these kids...
That's still a statistical peak.
I'd love to see that statistic. These kids
I'll show it to you. David
these kids that are coming in...
Facts. You're arguing it's facts right now. No. Don't make an ass of yourself.
No. What I'm telling you is these kids that are coming in, dude, they're like 18,
the kids
19,
have always been coming in. Jeff Gordon was lighting the world on fire when he was in his 20s, but the peak age statistically is still 39.
What other 39-year-old drivers are lighting it up? And don't say Denny Hamlin.
Go look at I guarantee you look at Ricky Rudd.
Uh-huh.
I promise you his best season was...
That was back 39. In the day. That was before we were born. Well, he's lighting the world up. He lit the world up.
Kevin Harvick.
Okay, 2022.
Dale Jr., 2014, his best season, 39.
His best season was in 2014?
Yes. For sure.
Really?
For sure. 4 race wins. Not as many wins as 2004, but his most consistent. He got screwed by the playoff format. But statistically his best year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
Best year, 39.
Well, it's Jimmy Johnson. I hate
How
that.
How many examples do you want?
Well, I hate that you throw Jimmy Johnson into it because he's like a rarity. He's like Jimmy Johnson's like LeBron James, where LeBron's really old but still great.
Go look at any of your favorite driver that's past the age of 39.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. That's a statistic.
You're just saying things off the wall.
Okay. I said this earlier on.
You're throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks.
Well, it's sticking because it's true. I told Spencer this on the episode that you probably didn't fucking listen to.
Audio.
There's a guy named David Smith.
Just kidding.
That's a motorsports analytic guy, and he figured this out, right? He used to have a podcast. He's so good at what he does that when Brad bought into RFK,
I've heard of this guy.
He hired him
to run SMT,
to run analytics, analytics, so Brad could say, "Hey, if there's 20 to go at Texas,
what should I do?
Is it more beneficial for me to take the inside or the outside?" And he goes,
"Nerd."
Yeah.
Nerd. I know what you're talking about.
He's the guy that figured out age 39 is statistically.
That's probably historically overall. I'm not doubting that. But
Let's
NASCAR
argue historically overall,
because we're not historically overall anymore. You just talked about you just talked about a second ago that driver owners was like what everybody was really doing back in the day. This is a different age where these kids are 14 years old and they go get them at Millbridge.
The stats are still the stats.
The stats are still the stats. Listen, they're 14 years old. They go get them at Millbridge and they literally develop them in these programs. They come in and they're dominant.
Okay, how's that working for Ty Gibbs?
Dude, he's gonna win any week now. And, do not sit
when
there
he's
and
39, he's probably gonna win 12 races that year.
He's probably gonna be retired by 39 because he's gonna have 4 championships.
Okay.
I mean, he's good.
We're getting off topic,
right.
And you're pissing me off. So anyway, this is what happens when I get a mixed drink instead of beer.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
It's tequila, and then one of those Spindrift. You ever heard of that?
Spindrift?
Spindrift. It's like a seltzer water.
Did you get that at Ollie's?
I got it at Kroger on sale.
Is it energy?
No, it's like a seltzer water, but it's got real fruit in it.
Oh, that's cool.
I got the mojito one. So it's like it's like tequila and then Spindrift.
How much tequila?
Tequila, Spindrift. And I put 4 ice cubes in it.
How much you getting paid to babysit that drink over there?
I'm actually probably going to bum a beer off you by the end of this. But
surprise, surprise. Okay.
Anyway, so let's just close up driver owner. Basically, what I wanted to hit on. Do you think, number one, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. We'll just be done with it.
Okay.
Do you think it's a conflict of interest for someone to drive for a team and own another one?
Yeah. I do. And I think, like I said, I think Denny's probably the best person to do it. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but he still looks out for himself. But I think when you start opening up on a larger scale, other people will
they're not
start looking out for their team.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the problem is the current model. You're just going to have more of that happening because nobody now with a good business sense is going to buy a Cup team. It's going to have to be someone like Denny that is just willing to lose money because he loves it.
Yeah.
So that's the only people that are going to own. And then I'll close once again, real quick. If you own a team, oh my God, dude, y'all can't see what I just did.
It's the tequila.
Dude, take this mouse away from me.
Just keep it right there. You don't even have to do anything with it.
Let's see, it's flickering.
Just sit it over. Spencer, please go back. What's your second question?
My second question was, if you drive and own a team, same team, is that a distraction? Because we've seen it both ways.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't think necessarily in Brad's case, it might have actually been. A little bit.
So now you agree with me. So that whole argument was meaningless.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's really taken away from Brad Keselowski a whole lot. I'm sure a little bit it has because there's no way that it couldn't.
Chris Buescher's won 4 times since he's...
I think Chris Buescher's just a really good race car driver.
I think he is too, but I think Brad's better. I think Brad's one of the best race car drivers in the Cup.
Yeah. Listen, I love Brad Keselowski.
I think he's legitimately
Dude, if he wins, I'm shotgunning a beer this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm maybe on Monday. We don't know yet.
But here's the other thing: is if he wins Talladega, I'm not gonna feel any better about his. Anybody can
I'll
win
just
Talladega.
be happy he wins.
Corey LaJoy can win Talladega.
Yep.
So what does that say? Not much.
I know, but I think Chris is he's more hungry, and I think
Brad's fucking starving. He hasn't won.
I know he's starving, but he's a champion, and maybe Chris has more to prove. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Okay.
I don't think it takes away a whole lot. I think it does.
It just here's the thing.
If you're worried about dollars and dimes, it would, but I don't think Brad is.
I think Brad is. That's where I think Tony, and Tony said this even to this day, because you can tell Tony he's not involved, right? It's just his name.
Yeah.
He's full-time running NHRA right now.
Yeah.
And even when he was running for the team, he said, I hire people to take care of this.
Yeah.
And so I think Tony had that disconnect. Well, his name was on the building, but he had that disconnect.
Yeah.
And I think Brad is legitimately involved in day-to-day business stuff.
No, I think he is too, yeah.
I think that's taken away.
Maybe.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on
it probably did a little bit.
But at the same time, Denny is on day-to-day stuff for 2311 for another team and still...
And a father, too.
Who's never done anything wrong.
Right, never done anything wrong.
Right.
Yep.
So it's just, I don't know. It's hard to compare because you see different people doing it different ways. Maybe Brad just can't handle it.
Yep. Nope. I don't think so.
Okay. We'll just get into Texas recap.
Yep. You're wrong. I'm right.
What I want to know, was it a good race? What is your rating?
It was not a good race. I'll tell you this. People think this race is a lot better for 2 reasons. One, Chase Elliott won. Okay? Not discounting that, he earned that victory. But 2, the past 2 weeks, we have watched some of the worst racing that NASCAR offers.
For sure. The bar was less than low.
When you actually see people wrecking and spinning out, not that NASCAR is about wrecks, but it does help with cautions and moving the lineup and stuff like that. It makes it seem a lot better. Overall, though, as far as mile and a halves go, it was not a great race. If I had to do a ranking, I would probably, and I do like a point system, I'd probably give it like a 6-7.
Oh my God, it's so high.
When I looked at this, I thought about a 5.9, and then I was like, that's too low, because there was a couple times I was pretty entertained throughout the race. So I'll give it a 6.7. It wasn't awful, but man, if they would just fix that track. If they would, I kept hearing on NASCAR podcasts that in turns 3 or 4, there's a huge speed bump or a dip, and then people can't run the high side. If they would just fix stuff like that and open up a second groove maybe on the high side, I think it'd be so much better. It'd be like Kansas,
but
maybe.
They can't because they flattened turn 1 and 2. When they flattened turn 1 and 2, no one could run anything but the bottom line. So then they were like, well, we'll just PJ1 the living dog fuck out of the second lane.
Yeah.
And they did that. And they haven't PJ1'd it in years.
Yeah.
And the PJ1, they've done it so heavy, it's still in the asphalt.
Really?
Yes. And that's why IndyCar stopped racing there, because they're just like.
So what do you think they need to do with Texas?
I would take 100 sticks of dynamite. I'd stick them in the tunnel.
Okay,
I'd blow it up, and I would leave, and I would never come back.
You wouldn't reconfigure it?
They've already spent the money to reconfigure it, and we know Marcus Smith in SMI isn't going to spend that money, because they can't even spend enough money to redo.
He attacked a father or two.
They can't even spend enough money to redo the fucking pylon that counts who all's in the top 35. Because they took the pylon out. I was there. I was at the race. I can tell you about my experience if you want. Wait for you to get a beer.
Go ahead, tell me.
Okay. So I went to the Texas race. Now, I grew up going to this race.
Hey, will you show the camera your shirt?
Yeah.
Don't Dallas my Fort Worth.
Don't Dallas my Fort Worth.
Isn't that the most Facebook t-shirt you've ever seen in your life?
It's from Billy Bob's, Texas.
Is it really? You went to Billy Bob's?
Okay,
I couldn't
Billy
see
Bob's,
that.
Texas.
Your belly was covered.
Yeah. No. Go fuck yourself. Oh my fucking god, dude. Anyway, yes, this is from Billy Bob's, Texas.
Okay.
I went to the stockyards.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've never been to that area.
I've seen pictures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we got that back home.
Anyway, so I grew up going to that race.
Yeah.
Before they reconfigured it. I even said this the other week, like, I don't remember anything ever being spectacular about it, but they absolutely hauled ass.
Really?
Dude, they hauled ass at that track. And they were on edge, but they could race each other. And some of that was the car, too, but also turn 1 and 2 was identical to turn 3 and 4. And then when they reconfigured it, they decided to flatten 1 and 2 for some reason. And when they did that, you could only run the bottom line. So I went with my dad and my sister, and I told them, I was like, I hate to be negative, because I wanted to go to our old track. I was like,
you used to go there all the time when you was little.
Used to go there all the time, 3 times a year. 2 cup races and 1 IndyCar race.
That's awesome.
3 times a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm having a great time. I love being with y'all. But for this 3 to 4 hours, it's going to suck, because they've run this racetrack.
Yeah.
By far. So the race starts. They moved back in the day. They had all like the merch haulers, and they had like different stuff you could do. It was almost like a carnival. It was all outside. Fucking shut up. It was all outside the track quite a bit, and you could all hang out there. And this year, and I don't know if this was new this year or they've done it in the past. So right where the ticket office is, and there's like a pavement road there. They put all the merch haulers there and all the vendors and everything right there. So, like Bristol, we go out and there's like the midway and the merch haulers, and then we have to walk a little bit to get into the stadium.
Yep.
So everything was right there. So like if I wanted to buy a Kyle Busch t-shirt, his hauler was like right here, and then I'd turn around and walk like 100 yards.
That's nice.
And I'd be and it made everything compact. And so there was probably less than what I was used to, like 15 years ago. But since it was all compact in there, it was super busy, and it looked super busy. So I did like that. But we got into the race. Decent crowd.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So they had a pre-race concert, right? And it's like these old dudes.
Who was
Old dudes. Let me get.
Okay.
So it's these old dudes, and me, my dad, and my sister are there, right? And we're all big classic rock fans.
Oh yeah.
And like these old dudes, and they're just like, they do not sound good. And my dad and my sister are like, who the fuck is this? Like, these guys fucking suck. Like, what kind of... And I'm like, well, let me I just Google it real quick. Like Texas pre-race concert. It's that easy. And it pulls up, it says 38 special. It's like a pretty big band. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, now they have like 2 to 3. You know,
they got 2 to 3 hits.
Yeah,
so don't let go.
We're not to that part of the concert yet.
Okay, that's. Did they close with "Hold On Loosely"?
Sure.
You have
to. What's their other one?
I don't know, man.
No, they have another big one.
Yeah,
I can't remember it right now.
Huge song.
They do. They really do.
Yeah.
So they're shitting on. It's like, no, this is 38 special. As soon as I say that, they're like filming it.
Yeah.
But they sang those 2 songs and like it sounded amazing. But I was just like...
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well, they practiced these a lot.
To be fair, I don't know anymore. I couldn't name you 3 38 special songs. Probably couldn't even 2. I do know Hold On Loosely.
Yeah, you definitely know their second one. But anyway, I thought that was like a decent pick for a...
You know, a lot of NASCAR... Caught up in you.
So caught up in you, little girl.
You know, that kind of sounds like Hold On Loosely.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
They just, if you had a sound, you rolled it.
A lot of NASCAR pre-race concerts like a year ago was 3 Doors Down. Do you remember that?
Oh my God,
dude. Well, that's 3 Doors Down, and then
the best pre-race concert I've ever been to.
I went to Darlington, and when I went to Darlington, 3 Doors Down was there too. So they, but then I looked up, I think they played at Martinsville too that same year, and I was like, I guess they're just on a NASCAR tour.
Well, they're big NASCAR fans. They have a music video.
If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman?
So they have a music video for another song, and Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart are in it.
Is it that song?
It's not that song.
Oh, well, it should be.
But yeah, we're getting way off topic. But anyway, so the race starts, and it's just like single file.
Okay.
Because turn 1, the way it is now, turn 1 and 2 is flat, right?
Uh-huh.
And then 3 and 4 is still the same as it was.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you have to set your car up for 1 and 2 to run that bottom, there's a big dip in 3 and 4. And with the next gen car, it's so stiff, if you run that second groove and you hit that dip, you bottom out. And you spin. Just like Denny did.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you're just fucked no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So, the only excitement was just, like, people wrecking. And then they would pit, and there'd be problems.
You couldn't pass.
You couldn't pass. And then we'd have a restart. And then people would, like, do shit on restarts trying to get down. And then we'd get back to single file. And then not till the end did it. You know, we had, like, 3 overtimes, I think. But they had a wreck with like 10 to go, and this is before
that was Ricky.
It was Ricky. Yes, Ricky fucking around.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, this is before people are bitching on Twitter or anything. They're just running caution laps, and Chase is leading.
Yeah.
And I turn to my dad and I go, "They're making this green white checkered so Chase can win."
Yeah.
And I hate to be that guy.
Yeah. No, it's true.
But it's like, if that's not the case, why do we not go green? And we're on the scan. We have scanners, and every driver's like, "Why are we not going green?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "The track's clear," and they just kept closing pit road, like lights aren't going off, and it's because, you know, and didn't even say on his podcast, if he had 3 to 4 laps to play with, he had a faster car.
Something.
He had a faster car. He wouldn't have had to go to the top in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Where he knew it was what he said, a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
So I thought that was weird. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all.
I didn't like it either.
So, I don't know. What did it come across as on TV?
Well, all we heard was Clint being like, "Oh, that Dawsonville boy up there at front." Yeah, it was like that. Dude. And then I think there was a Sonic commercial. And then stuff like that. So, you know, you couldn't really tell on TV as much because they kept you distracted.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I saw on Twitter is people were talking about all the commercials. And, like, you know, it's weird when you're there and I had the scanners, like, I don't
love the scanners.
I didn't miss anything.
If you ever go to a race, you got to get a scanner.
Scanners. But, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a bunch of commercials or like what they did or didn't show.
I can't remember exactly, but probably because they ran under caution for a long, long time, and then when they do that, they go to commercial.
Okay.
So.
And then the only other thing I want to say, so no passing, we touched on that. one lane. Tires kind of mattered because Brad had newer tires. He had 18 laps fresher tires at the end.
Yep.
And he was coming through the field, so it's like, people will say tires didn't matter, but they did something.
Well, I don't want to sound like an idiot here, but here I go. I feel like the tires at 1.5 are so much better at short tracks.
For sure.
And I think that they're probably just running that 1.5 tire.
I think it's because they have more load on the tire.
Yeah.
They'll wear better.
Yeah.
And I mean, Goodyear would have to bring a ridiculously soft compound to wear on a short track like they did at Bristol.
Yeah.
Mistake.
They shouldn't do that at 1.5.
No.
Yeah, they shouldn't bring a super soft tire at
No.
1.5.
But I think they do need to find something to where it will, there's a drastic fall off to where you have to manage it. Because if we're going to have one lane races, then you need to have something to manage it.
Yeah.
And make it
decent.
Yeah. So, do you think, like, number one, I'll ask you, should we keep going to Texas? Number two.
Yes.
Okay. Number two, a lot of people think this was a good race because of all the cautions and excitement or whatever.
At the end.
Now,
the overtimes.
So obviously we're in the minority. Do we just accept that that's NASCAR racing, or do we stick to the fact that we like real racing?
Well,
and we push back on it?
Mr. Austin, I think that's an interesting question you bring up, and I'm going to tell you, there's nothing we're going to do about it right now because a lot of people think Texas was a good race. So nothing is going to happen.
It got like
what's
75%
going to take is next year when Chase Elliott doesn't win and there's not 3 overtimes.
And Denny Hamlin doesn't wreck. I'm telling you, that was big.
And then people actually just watch single file racing around the bottom. Then people will be like, this sucks. But this year, no, nothing's going to change. We're going to go back to Texas. They're going to look at, I don't know if they look at Jeff Gluck's poll that closely, but I'm sure they do. And then they're like, well, people actually thought this was a pretty good race. And then they're not going to change anything this year. No. We're not going to see any change with Texas for 2 to 3 years, or them talking about it.
And so, I think Denny wrecking.
So we accept it, and we eat it.
I think we have to accept it.
Yeah.
Because Denny wrecking was huge.
Yeah.
Because even if you're not a Chase fan, the majority of more people hate Denny than love Chase.
I can't.
And both those numbers.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. And then Chase won.
Yeah.
Which I think is like a false. He did not have the best car, but good for him. He won.
He's been really consistent lately too.
I will say, I did want to point this out. When he won, he did the Polish victory lap, which a lot of them do, but he did it like no burnout, just kind of Kulwicki, and then talked about Alan Kulwicki. Yeah. So good on him.
Yeah,
that was fine. Let's talk about who stood out. Corey LaJoie versus Carson. It is 6 Carson, 3 Corey. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Somebody just needs
Carson spun out and still finished better than Corey.
Somebody just needs to give Corey LaJoie a chance, and
I think
listen, it is.
I think Spire did, and he told us from the get-go when he got to Spire that he was a playoff contender.
Listen, it is very hard to defend Corey LaJoie right now.
Yeah, it's been hard.
But I will say this. I'm still not going to write off that he's a bad race car driver. I honestly think he's not, man.
Carson Hosfar, I looked up, you know how many Cup starts he has? Like 18.
Mm-hmm.
18. And he beat Corey LaJoie 6-3.
Corey LaJoie's father at 3.
2?
Third's on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bubba's got one on the way.
I know. Yeah. Congrats to Bubba. Yeah.
Little ball fan.
Yeah, dude. I've actually really loved Bubba, but I've grown like a really big love.
You know his mom ran track at UT.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
So Denny's my number 1, and Kyle Busch is pretty close at number 2.
Kyle used to be number 1.
I know, but when people started hating Denny, I was like, that's my guy. But yeah, anyway, Bubba's like, I'm sorry, I got way off topic, but it's really hard to defend Corey right now. And man, I just want it to work so bad for Corey LaJoie. I just want to see on one Sunday Corey LaJoie in victory lane. You do too a little bit.
No, I don't, because watching a first time winner
like win. Just take Corey LaJoie out of the picture. Just watching a first-time Cup winner, you're like, man, that's cool.
Who's the last first-time Cup winner we've had?
I don't know if this is the last.
I think it's been Michael McDowell.
McDowell. I was about to say Suarez when he won at Sonoma.
Yes, that was. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, he was excited.
I think that might be the last one.
10 times the driver Corey is, and Suarez is not good.
Suarez works his ass off. Yeah. No, I like Suarez. I do.
I like him too, but I don't think he's that good. And he's 10 times better than Corey.
But
it's hard to be a Corey LaJoie apologist right
now.
Know, that's all I can say.
I'll say this. You could look at this in two ways, people. You could look at this in two ways. You could look at it in the dark frame of mind that Austin looks at it. Or you could look at it in a way where Corey LaJoie might not be the best race car driver, but I think, and I mean this, I think Carson Hocevar is that good.
I think Carson Hocevar is good.
Yeah.
Right. I do think he's good. I think if he was in a better car, he would be pissing a lot of people off. I think he's already pissing people off.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's people, if there's ever a day where they hit on the setup and he's running top 10 throughout the day, he's going to piss the wrong person off and get spun.
Yeah.
The biggest thing Carson Hocevar has against him is Carson Hocevar. Because he's a fucking weapon. He's a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just it's how it is.
Yeah.
But Corey has so much experience and has said so many times that he can do it if he's in a good car.
I just wish he would go to Xfinity Series and just run for 3 years.
Of course he should win the Xfinity Series.
Well,
here's why he doesn't, because he wouldn't win. He had a chance.
He would get a couple wins.
He had a chance.
I don't think he'd be champion.
But he had a chance 2 years ago to get in a JRM Xfinity car. Had the sponsorship lined up and he backed out of it. I think he's scared. I think he's scared that he would get in a good car and not be able to perform.
That's a way to look at it, but
that's
I don't.
The only way to look at it.
That's not the only way. Because
Kyle Larson does it, William Byron does it, Chase Elliott does it.
I'll tell you this:
they all get Xfinity cars.
We don't know. And NASCAR's one of the only sports that doesn't tell you about salaries, but there has to be a cut there.
He's not making. There's got to be a cut. He's not. It would only be in addition to what he's making.
What do you mean?
Are you talking about him running Cup and Xfinity, or just
no, just going to Xfinity?
No, if he went down to Xfinity, he would definitely have to pay for his ride. So yeah, you're right.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to make as much. I mean, as anybody does, they want to make as much money as possible.
Yes, I agree with you, and that's been his motto the whole time.
It's literally been like, Austin, would you like this job that pays $500,000 or $200,000?
I agree.
I mean,
we're talking about the Cup Series, and I'm still a firm believer. And Corey's not the only one. We should have the best drivers in the Cup Series.
I agree.
Not Corey LaJoie, not Harrison Burton.
Yeah, Harrison Burton. Dude, get him out.
Yes, get him out.
He led a little bit.
Cody Ware's coming down to Talladega. Yeah, pit strategy. Same thing they got.
Well, Cody Ware's dad owns the team.
Yeah, he's coming back.
That's
Talladega.
stupid. That guy sucks.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that suck.
Will you say Corey LaJoie's better than Cody Ware?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
He should be.
Yeah.
He should be. He should be better than Carson Hocevar. He should be.
I agree with you.
Carson Hocevar has 4 truck wins.
I agree with you there, but I think Carson Hocevar, since he started like here and then worked his way here, and then Corey literally went from ARCA to Cup, he missed a lot of stepping stones.
Because he was chasing that Cup money. He wanted to be in Cup.
Wasn't anybody? You can't fault him for that.
There's a natural progression.
You can't be like, well, I need to naturally progress.
I mean,
you're racing ARCA, then somebody's like, you want to make $500,000 a year, or whatever he makes. You can't fault the guy.
Fine. I won't fault him for it.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to sit here and say he's good.
I don't buy like 50 Tahoes.
Okay, he's okay. Yeah. That's fine. But that doesn't make him good. That doesn't mean he deserves it because he swindled his way into it.
Whatever, dude. I don't even want to talk about this anymore, dude.
I figured this is how this would go. You can't apologize for it. Let's go to standouts. Jimmy Johnson, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Man, it's hard to show up at the most competitive series and be competitive when you've been out of it.
I agree, but it hurts me inside to see him.
Well, I mean, kind of let Jimmy just do whatever he wants, man. It's Jimmy Johnson.
I mean, yeah.
We don't have any other 7-time champions, hanging around the sport.
He can literally do whatever he wants, but that doesn't make it hurt and he left.
It sucks.
It sucks.
And I don't know why he chose Texas.
Because he was a fucking awesome at Texas. He has like the most wins at Texas.
Well, I understand, but it's a
That's why he chose Texas. That's
it's a completely different car.
Okay, but that's the answer to your question.
I just wish he'd choose other places.
Doesn't
he have a road course too? Or did he already have a road course?
Well,
he has a road course.
Last year he was going to do the Chicago Street Course, which
And then
I think he would have.
And then he didn't. He had a family thing.
He had that family thing.
Yep.
But I think he would have been decent at that because he ran all the IndyCar races on
Yeah.
road courses. But man, I don't know. And like once again, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And I will never.
He owns the team. He's a driver owner.
Yeah, and my opinion of him will never like. This doesn't make me think any less of him. I just hate to see.
Spencer's fuming right now.
He is fuming.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Spencer, and we've said this before, when Spencer became a fan, that was like right on Jimmy's downfall. And every week I'd be like, dude, Jimmy's...
He's great.
Like, he has 9 wins at this track or whatever. And Spencer's just never seen it.
Yeah.
But dude, you saw it.
I did.
He was amazing.
NASCAR was boring at one point because he was like the Verstappen of F1, where it's like every race.
Jimmy and Chad just like stunk up the show for years.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I hate to see it.
I hate to see it, but if that's what he wants, if he's happy,
yeah,
I can't
sound like a bad ex.
It
where
is,
like I'm just glad they're happy.
I'm just glad that, you know what, if they come out better on the other end,
yeah,
it is what it is. Blaney and Priest, what did you think about that?
So the only thing I saw was Blaney, backed into the wall there. Priest put him into that wall. But Blaney had said that he used him up.
Yeah, he wasn't even mad.
No. So I guess that's just because I did not see where Blaney used him up.
I didn't either.
So I guess it must have been pretty atrocious for Ryan Blaney, who's a hothead behind the wheel, to have been like,
whatever.
Yeah, it happens. So.
Yeah. Which I did kind of like. That's like old
and good
school.
for Ryan Priest for being like, I don't care if you're the Cup champion. Don't do that to me.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was cool. It's like old school for Ryan Blaney to be like, yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to on the sheet, but Chastain and William Byron last lap.
Yes. Yeah. People are saying that Byron wrecked Chastain just so caution lights would come out and Chase would win.
I have not seen that, but
yeah, well, it's on Twitter. But people are saying that would be a reason why he would do it because they were on white flag.
Well,
and then next flag ends the race. And I don't know why that would be the case because he was kind of far behind.
Yeah, Ross definitely blocked him, and William just like didn't lift, which I felt like William Byron didn't do anything different than Ross Chastain would have done to anybody else.
I don't think. It just looks like Byron, and he didn't even hit him too hard from what the replay showed. He bumped him.
He just drove through him.
Okay.
Chastain came down on him, and William Byron, like, usually they're, and once again, it's last lap, but usually they're like, you're like, fuck you, but you check up just to, like, not cause anything.
Yeah.
William Byron just kept in throttle and turned him.
It's white flag.
But, like, that's something Chastain would do on lap 25.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I don't like about it is Chastain didn't do any interviews afterwards. I'm like, dude, you're... I mean, I just would have rather seen him say something. Even if he was pissed off, like, say something.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that pissed me off about it.
Yeah.
Because I think...
I didn't know he didn't do any interviews.
He declined all interviews.
He's probably just...
MRN, NASCAR...
He's probably just
Fox,
so pissed off that he just didn't want to talk.
Which is fine, but like
everybody
that he's wrecked has done interviews. So
yeah,
I don't. Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah,
I mean William Byron Chastain.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Which is good.
Yeah. But say something.
Yeah.
So
Byron probably spilt his Lego set.
Right. Yeah. Well, William Byron was
it's like Talladega Nights where he's like, "You made me spill my cappuccino."
But William Byron was like, I didn't want to, but he blocked really bad. Once again, that's fine, but
yeah,
I mean, like, I feel like Chastain could have said something.
Yeah,
but that's just me selfishly because I want the
content.
I think the drama of these drivers is just as big as the racing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you agree.
No, I agree.
But
yeah, because it's like a story.
It's a story.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I had notable is Austin Dillon finished top 10. I just had to say that.
It was due to cautions.
They
kind of all rotated up there. Same thing with Hosafar, though. I know we're excited about Hocevar, but that's why.
He still spun and was able to beat Corey. And he's still 5 positions better than Corey.
Why do I even do this podcast?
I don't know why you like Corey Detroit. Chase finally got a win.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, is he a championship 4 favorite? Let's calm the fuck down.
I think he is. Well, and I'll tell you why, mister over there. But listen, he's been consistent every single week.
He's been consistent, yeah.
Yes.
He can't close it. The only way he can close the deal is with late race cautions.
NASCAR shuts down the old track for 10 laps.
NASCAR shuts down pit roads, so then he can't beat him with the fastest car.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he wins another race this year.
That may very well be true, but
I would put money on that. I would put money on that.
If you're telling me that a Hendrick...
I'm going to put money on that, that's what I'm saying.
1-800-GAMBLER.
If I bet you $10, Chase Elliott doesn't win another race.
Okay.
This year.
Yeah. Playoffs included, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
In the year.
Yep. $10 on that. I say he does. Biggest Chase fan you ever met now. But as far as being a legitimate contender, you can't tell me that somebody who's essentially locked into the playoffs and behind the wheel of a Hendrick car is not a contender. So I will say he's a contender. And plus it's Chase Elliott. He's done it before. I don't like Chase Elliott all that much. I'm kind of a Chase Elliott hater.
Yeah.
But I will admit, I mean, when he gets it figured out, he's not a bad race car driver.
He's a good driver.
I just wish, he's the most popular driver, and he's not very outspoken or anything like that. And I just think that he could do so much for the sport, but he just doesn't. And that's what makes me not like him.
Interview?
Yeah, I liked it. It actually made me like Chase Elliott a little bit.
I like the Alan Kowicki part, but he was just like, I just can't believe this. This is amazing.
But that's just kind of his personality. From what I've heard.
So his personality sucks.
It's just kind of very...
He just has no personality.
He's just level-headed, man.
He just has no personality.
He doesn't have much of one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't... Yeah, he's never going to be my favorite driver, but he's not a bad driver.
So we'll move right in. I feel like we've taken forever, but we talked about Carson Hocevar's career day. So last week we talked about Spencer had a bet on Carson Hocevar top 10.
No kidding.
I don't know where he thought that up. So he said that, and I said, okay, so we're talking career day for Carson Hocevar. And Spencer said, yes, we're going to get it.
I love that.
Career day for Carson Hocevar. So we were 6 and some change in the hole. We are down to, I got Spencer's notes here, so let me try to read them. Stupid mouse. God, dude, I hate that mouse. So we were down 6 and some change. We're only down half a unit.
Nice.
At one time, I think we were down 9 units.
That's
so
big.
Spencer's dug us out of a hole. So what he has, now keep in mind it's Talladega, so I think he took a little bit of a different route. And once again, we're betting 3 units. So he did race winner, 4.25 unit bets on race winner. So I'll see what you think about this. Blaney at plus 1,000 quarter unit. Bubba plus 1,400 quarter unit. Busher plus 2,000 quarter unit.
Like that.
Brad plus 1,000 quarter unit.
I like all these.
Those are all race winners.
I like these.
So I kind of like the strategy he's taking there.
Yeah.
Because usually he only does one race winner.
Yeah.
But it's Talladega, so I think he changed it up a little bit, and I like that.
Odds are higher at Talladega.
Odds are higher. We can do a quarter unit, and if Bubba wins at plus 4 or Busher at plus 2,000, we're sitting pretty good. So we've got 4 race winners at a quarter unit. Top 10 bets. These are half a unit each. We've got Todd Gilliland plus 300.
I like that. Yeah.
Not bad, because him and McDowell.
Sneaky bet.
Him and McDowell should be working together.
Yeah. And they're fast at super speedways, man. Normally they qualify well, too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then Eric Jones.
So I like that.
Plus 150 on the top 10.
Okay.
So not bad.
Okay.
So those are all half a unit each. And then we're going to put a full unit on winning manufacturer. Who do you think he picked?
Ford. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I think they were at plus 150.
Plus 180.
180.
Is what he locked in at.
Okay.
So because he did these earlier.
Yeah.
So it's probably came down a little bit.
Okay.
So, yeah, so just real quick, all our outright winners, we're doing a quarter unit. Blaney, Bubba, Busher, Brad. We're going to do a top 10 at a half unit on Todd Gillen and Eric Jones. And we're going to do winning manufacturer a full unit on Ford plus 180.
I like
Which
all
I think
that.
is pretty sneaky. Like, I don't think the books realize how good Ford is on. Like, I think they work together better than anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
That's a good bet.
yeah, I think it's a good bet. And
Yep.
I mean, he's dug us out of a hole.
Yeah.
Like, he dug us in that hole, and I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Are you betting these with him, by the way?
I'm not. No.
You're not? You should be.
I gave up FanDuel. So, I think I told the
Okay.
story before, but this was Atlanta 2021.
Okay.
And Kyle Larson was winning the first Atlanta race. This is before they ruined Atlanta.
They didn't ruin Atlanta.
Marcus Smith,
They
piece of
literally
shit.
did not ruin Atlanta. They saved Atlanta.
So this is when Atlanta was a driver's track, and Kyle Larson was winning by like 5 seconds, and live betting was still open. It was like 30 laps to go, and Kyle Larson was like minus 250, and I had $100 in my FanDuel account. I was like, that's an easy. You know, you win like $25 or whatever.
You're dumb for that.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, $100. Just as soon as I placed the bet,
He
they
wrecked.
placed they put the radio up, and Kyle Larson's talking to Cliff Daniels. He goes, handling's going away. I was like, you've got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
And like you can see on the tickers, like Ryan Blaney's like 2/10.
Yeah, he's just
4/10,
catching them.
5/10, second, just catching him.
Yeah.
Catching him. And Larson said his car just went away. And he's not the best at saving tires sometimes. Sometimes he is,
Yeah.
sometimes he's not. And
He had
I
one
guess-
come off completely. He drove the wheels off the
dude,
thing.
oh my god, dude, that was his race to lose, and he did it again. But yeah, so Ryan Blaney passed him, and I lost $100 on a minus.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a dumb bet.
But at the time, I was just like, oh, this is the easy
Yeah.
$25.
Yeah. I will say I love all of Spencer's picks. I was also thinking about doing the Ford manufacturer as well. But for top 10s, I only have 2 top 10 bets wrote down. Chris Buescher for a top 10 at plus 100.
Okay.
I just think he's good, man. I just
think he's
really
good,
like
yeah.
Chris Buescher.
Well, him and Brad are
Plus
really
100
good.
odds, your money right matched, Yeah, I'm putting some on
Yeah.
that. And then you're going to hate this. You're going to hate it. You're going to hate it a lot. You know what I'm about to say? Corey LaJoy top 10 at
Top
plus
10.
350. So it's a sweetheart bet. But if there's anywhere,
What was his odds?
plus 350 for a top 10.
Oh my god, hold on, let me go.
I know. But if there's anywhere Corey LaJoy's going to run top 10, it's going to be Super Speedway.
So I think
Or maybe Darlington. He's been pretty good
Oh
there
my
in the
God.
past.
Corey will finish
Quillable.
when we get to
Is that your
Darlington-
tequila?
Yeah. When we get to Darlington, he will finish 28th.
Little Tila tequila
He'll
over
finish-
here.
yeah. He will finish 28th at Darlington. I guarantee it.
Okay.
I put money on that too.
Okay.
But
Wait, you want to put a bet on that? If
Well,
he
that's
gets
so
if he gets
specific.
27th or better, I win.
at the first Darlington race,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to make that bet.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of an attrition race at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
yeah.
There it is.
Fuck you.
Put your money where your mouth.
So I will say I think Corey's gonna run. He's probably gonna qualify decent, and then he's just gonna.
He stays out of trouble on super
He
speedways.
is not. That's the point I'm making. So lap 1, he will immediately go to the front when everyone else is just riding around. He'll go to the front. He'll run up front all day. Clint Boyer will be like, "Oh my God, Corey LaJoy just in this small team," and then 20 to go or less, he will make some ridiculous move, cause a big one, and wreck himself.
$10.
Corey LaJoy gets in the big one.
Okay. Wait. In the big one?
In the big one.
Okay.
No,
Just any wrecks? No. Any
Corey
wrecks?
LaJoy-
This is no.
Corey LaJoy gets in a wreck.
No. The big one. The big one, because he is
So last
smart.
time-
He is smart
last
at
time
super
at
speedways.
Last time at Talladega, he was not smart. He wrecked Riley Herbst right at the line.
Okay, Joey Logano's wrecked people at Talladega, and
Yeah,
he's like one of the best super speedway racers.
I don't think he's the best super speedway racer.
No, he's one of. I'm not saying he's the best, but he's good at super speedways. Historically speaking, he is.
He's made a lot of
Facts,
mistakes.
stats. Isn't that what you said?
Mistakes, but he's made more good.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Joey's made more good moves than bad moves, and I can't say that about Corey.
Okay.
I can't say that about Corey.
Okay.
I really can't.
All right, get back on the pond if you're going to be a silly goose about this, dude.
So that's Spencer's bets.
Okay.
I actually like them a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Talladega predictions. We kind of got into it a little bit. So you think Ford will? You know, Ford hasn't won a race all year.
I do know that. Yeah. If they're going to win anywhere right now, it's got to be here. It's got to be here because where do we have after Talladega? I didn't even look at the schedule.
I can tell you.
Do you have it on your? Do you have it on your calendar?
Calendar, yeah.
Yeah, you downloaded that.
Yeah, big race fan.
What I don't hope is that we see a fuel saving race. Because whenever you see that third line form, I mean, I just don't want the whole thing to be.
I know, but we will.
Yeah, because when you see that third line form,
Dover.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. No, I didn't, dude. I did know. No, I did know that. Because in fantasy, I kind of look ahead like 2 weeks, and I'm like, should I save this person?
Why you're 13th.
I'm first overall.
Are you first overall?
You want to look that up too? You're 13th. Actually, we would have. Hey, you want to pull that up?
No, it's not important. I believe you.
Anyway, let's look up this guy that he says he knows NASCAR. Let's see where he's at here. I'm in first. I got to scroll down.
Strategically picking people.
You're
11th?
You're in 11th, tied with 3 people.
What do we have? 29 people?
27. 27.
I got time.
I'm in first.
Okay.
You're in 11th.
I got time.
Yeah, you don't even have stage point where you're at. But yeah, I hope it's not a fuel saving race though.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be, but
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just don't want the whole thing to be like ride around, third stage.
So,
do
you think we'll ride around, and then like 10 overtime finishes? Because I'll lose. Lose my shit.
Dude, there's got to be. It's Talladega.
That's why I hate super speedways now.
But, I mean, you might as well say you hate mile and a halves because Texas had 3 overtime finishes.
We're turning the Cup Series into the Truck Series.
At least that they made the rule where the white flag ends the race. Because, good Lord, if they didn't,
oh my God! Well, they tried in the All-Star race. They tried to make that a rule, and that's when Ryan Blaney let his window net down.
Yep.
And I think thank God he did that because I think that saved them from ever making that a rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think we'll see fuel saving. I do think Ford will somehow win.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know why.
Yep.
But any other predictions?
Corey LaJoie gets his first ever win, and then
oh my God!
If I just want you to know, if Corey LaJoie wins, I don't care what.
What's his odds to win?
I don't care if you and Spencer say no.
We have time.
I'm coming to do the next podcast, and I'm just wearing all 7 gear.
If he wins Talladega, he will keep his ride for another 10 years, and he'll never win a race again.
No, I got to scroll down.
I know. Because even the books know that he's going to fuck
Carson Hocevar is a bigger underdog than Corey LaJoie.
Yeah. Well, he's too good of a racer to be good at
Corey is plus 6,000. He has about the same odds as Josh Berry and Ryan Preece.
Yeah, that's legitimate.
Yeah. I mean, might want to sprinkle a little on Corey. Don't do that. Top 10 though, plus 350.
I think Josh Berry has a better chance because he won't do something stupid.
No.
Corey's going to do something stupid because Corey, in his mind, thinks that he's good, which is his biggest problem.
He is good. He's a Cup Series driver. You can't be in the Cup Series and not be a good driver.
Yeah, Harrison Burton.
I mean,
Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon.
Ty Dillon's not really a Cup Series driver.
Yeah, he is. He just raced last race.
Is he full time?
No.
Oh,
he raced.
Okay, he's part time. He's
a Cup Series driver.
He's a moonlighter.
Did you say Cup Series driver or full time Cup Series driver?
Fair enough. I said Cup Series driver.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in the Cup Series that shouldn't be there.
I mean, you just named.
I mean, Corey LaJoy is one of them.
After this podcast goes off, I'm gonna fight you in the front yard.
Let's just move on to questions. Do you have any stupid questions?
I kind of do, yeah.
Go ahead.
So I feel like you'll be able to answer this a little bit, but it is something I've always thought about. So we're in this next gen car, and the cars are supposed to be the same. So they say, and as we know, basically all of Hendrick and just JGR have won races this year. No one else.
Except for Trackhouse.
Except for Trackhouse, I don't want, yeah. But all the cars are supposed to be the same, and it all goes down to resources. When you think of resources, are we thinking of more? Are we thinking of more realistic sims? Are we thinking of better engineers? But they're all building the car the same. So, what do you think that those resources are that makes Hendrick better than Stewart-Haas?
I think it's the engineers. I think JGR and Hendrick have found something that is quote-unquote cheating, right?
Yeah.
Same with, we saw Hendrick with the louvers last year.
Yeah.
Okay? So they're finding a way to modify or do something different on these cars that's passing tech. They have to be.
Yeah.
Now, Stewart-Haas is notoriously old school. Now, when they were old school with the old car, with truck arms and everything else, they could get away with it. Even Rodney Childers. And I think Rodney Childers is a great crew chief, but I don't think he's a next-gen guy.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's in that old mindset of
the old car. What can I do with the old car?
On the old car.
Yeah.
How do I translate that to where I think JGR, Hendrick, they probably have younger engineers. They probably have guys that are more open to look, instead of saying like, this is ridiculous, like it's just a kit car, just put it together, send it out. They're like, we're paying you a bunch of money to just figure this shit out.
Yeah.
So people always win. So the places that have the most people are always going to win because you have the most minds, you have the most knowledge.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you can say parity all you want, but JGR and Hendrick were good in...
They have the most money.
They had the most money. They were good before, right? I think it was 2000, maybe 19, maybe 21. Maybe 2021, Hendrick and JGR won the most races. Last year, the Gen 6. And it only took us 2 years to get right back there.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the people that spend the most money, have the best engineers, and I think have the most open minds. I think that's what it is. I mean, they're definitely doing something that probably by the rule book would be illegal, but they're so good at it that it's passing.
Okay. So it has nothing to do with the drive. Well, it does, but
I think it has something to do with the drivers.
It's the drivers, but it's not really sim time. It's more ingenuity.
Because, I mean, Kyle Larson will tell you he does not get in the sim at all. Because he thinks the sim doesn't help at all.
Okay.
Okay, but Kyle Larson's great. Denny does some sim time, but there's a handful of drivers that don't. Truex doesn't do sim. Truex is pretty good. Yeah. Right? I mean, he hasn't won yet this year, but he definitely
He's good.
He's capable.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think the sim time is necessarily doing it. Maybe for some drivers, but I just think they have the most people. They have the smartest people. They have the most open-minded people, is what I think. They're doing something. Yeah. They're doing something that is clearly got to be illegal, because if you give everybody the same set of cars, it would be like 2022 where we had all those winners, right? But all it took was 2 years for the big teams to figure out, here's what I can do and slide through tech. Okay. And it takes...
So cheating is your answer?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
And I think that's always been NASCAR. Yeah. So, but it took 2022 Denny getting disqualified, right, for a piece of tape that he says had no performance advantage.
He didn't see it on there. It wasn't Denny's fault.
I mean, it probably he probably had no idea.
It's probably accidental. Honestly. Probably like fell off a shelf and stuff.
But they were trying something, right? Yeah. It took 2023 Hendrick with the louvers. They got overturned, but they were definitely cheating. Yeah. But I think it took 2 years of them pushing the boundaries, figuring out where they can go to make that. They found something. Yeah. They definitely found something. Yeah. But I think there's also this game that Hendrick used to play where you spend like the whole first half of the year kind of like non-existent, and then the last half of the year, Tech's not looking at you as hard. You start sliding shit through, and we've seen Ford do that.
Yeah.
Joey won 2022, Blaney won 2023.
Yeah.
They're both irrelevant.
Yeah.
The whole
and then the
season.
playoffs come and they
so it's
somehow
almost
win.
like they have something in their back pocket.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if
they don't want to show. Yeah.
Yeah. All you have to do is win a couple races in the playoffs. I'm sorry to say it.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
You can do it. Ryan Blaney did it, and Joey Logano did it. So,
yeah,
that's what I think it is, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've always been curious because you hear about resources. Oh, they got better resources, and then as just your race fan, you're like, what do they got? What are these resources? So,
I think they're more. I think you also have to think those are two teams that have been around a long time, and if they get busted with a ridiculous fine, what's it matter?
It'll be all right.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And you see other teams that try blatant stuff. Noah Gragson got a huge penalty at the beginning of the year, and they're just trying.
Yeah.
Right? They're just trying for something. But I think once again, I think maybe they're a little bit old school. So when they try something, it's just blatant. Where the Hendrick guys, maybe they're trying a little, well, let's try this. If it passes, well, then we'll just bump it up a little bit.
Stewart All shows up and like, is this a V12?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think maybe those guys are so obvious where the Hendrick guys, maybe they have they've been doing this for so long, like, we'll just push a little bit, that passed. We'll push a little bit, that passed.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's happening in the tech shop either.
Yeah.
Maybe in the tech shop they're telling Hendrick, hey, this is a little rough. You failed this time. They go back and they're like, okay, well we'll put it back to where we know it can pass.
Yeah.
And then we'll split that in half next week.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. It's an engineering game. It's just the driver definitely matters.
Oh, for sure.
Because definitely when you play with these cars and you make them close or illegal, they're going to be hard to drive.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have to have a really good driver.
Yeah.
But that's where I think it comes from.
Do you have any stupid questions?
So Spencer had one that I thought was pretty good. He said, does F1 or any other premier racing circuit have a passing problem?
Yeah.
So we think we have a passing problem. My answer to that was like, we think we have a passing problem.
F1 is awful.
F1's awful.
Yeah.
Indy's pretty bad.
I like watching F1 whenever it comes on at like Sunday at 9 a.m. and then I can watch that till like 11:30.
Because they're short.
Yeah, and then just kind of start off the morning. But yeah, it's a snooze fest.
I think we're spoiled.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think as bad as we complain, we have better racing than.
Yeah.
And even if we talk about only two teams are winning. Well, those are still two teams that have 4 drivers.
Yeah.
We're looking at like 7 to 8 guys.
And there's a lot of lead changes of people who haven't won.
Right.
That's happened as well.
Yeah. So I think in NASCAR, compared to our standards as NASCAR fans, we have a passing problem.
Yeah.
But if we ever want to feel better about ourselves.
Watch an F1 race.
Watch an F1 race. Watch an IndyCar race.
Yeah.
Australian V8 supercars where SVG came from. Those are all dominated by the same 1 to 2 guys.
Yeah. I bet they were happy when SVG left.
Oh, yeah.
Like, thank God.
Oh, yeah. Someone else can win.
Yeah.
IMSA road course racing, you got 1 to 2 people because that's so equipment variant too. And that's why NASCAR went to the next gen because all these other racing series are so equipment dependent.
Yeah.
They wanted the driver to matter.
Yeah.
And so we kind of have to find that middle ground of like the equipment is equal, but we have to make the driver matter, and the driver's not mattering.
Yeah.
And now the equipment side is caught up, and it's just like you can't pass. But we can still pass way better than any other series.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I think like that's a very valid question from Spencer.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to feel better about yourself, just watch any other racing.
Yeah.
And it's
tough.
We're okay.
Yeah.
We're okay for sure. So, favorite memory of upcoming race, which is Talladega. Yours.
My favorite memory by far is when I went to Talladega for spring race. We took an RV, and I watched 2 of my buddies. We were walking from literally one side of the track, one corner of the track, to the other corner of the track, which is hella far.
Yeah, like a 2-mile walk.
And then we were, we had some beverages. And there was 2 guys in the group, and we're passing these porta potties. And beside these porta potties, out in the middle of this field, is a tray of half-eaten chicken wings. And I saw one of our buddies.
Which one?
Pick up. His name starts with a G.
Okay.
And the other one his name starts with an A.
Okay.
And I saw them pick up these porta potty wings. Could have been somebody inside of the porta potty who set their wings down, picked them up and ate them on our walk to go see our other buddy who was tailgating out there. But it was just so funny. And then it was the most funniest thing in the world. We could not stop laughing about these porta potty wings.
Yeah, I got invited on that trip actually, and I had just started my new job out of college. Yeah, and I regret this so much, but I was so worried because I just started a really good job, and I was like, they're gonna get arrested. Which I should know. Nobody gets arrested.
Nobody gets arrested.
Nobody gets arrested.
No, but I was like, you got to do something crazy to get arrested.
You have to kill somebody.
Yeah,
and
you really would.
Probably get arrested 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're gonna get in trouble, and I can't go, and I didn't go with y'all. But I got invited on that trip. I wish I would have went.
You should have went. It was a great time.
I still hear stories about that trip.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that makes me so jealous.
You got a Talladega story?
Yeah. Do you remember when? Excuse me. And I've told this story before. You remember when Brad won his first race, and he spun Carl, and he went up into the fence?
Dude, and it was like, yes, dude. I was a little kid. I think I was in middle school. I was at one of my middle school friends' house.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at that race.
Really?
So when that happened, we watched the race. I can't remember what grade I was. I was middle school too. I'm sure because I'm your age.
Yeah.
But
you seem so much older.
I know. Yeah, it's my hair. But so we were walking. My parents have always been like, like leave right as the checkered flag.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta
beat traffic.
Beat traffic. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're walking down the steps from our seats, and we're kind of near the start finish line, which is closer to turn 1 than any other track.
Yeah, it's way down there.
They want a full front stretch of racing, and we're walking down, and Carl is in the fence to the left of me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I just looked down, and I really wasn't paying attention. I was pretty young, and I saw Dale Jr. Well, I saw this 09 car, and I'm like, okay, that car has to be a lap down. We didn't have scanners or anything at this race, so that car has to be a lap down because I've never seen it before. I just see the 88, and I'm like, oh my God, Dale Jr. just won Talladega. Well, the 09 was Brad in that Finch.
Okay.
Car sponsored by Mikasuki.
Okay.
And he had been up there all day, and Brad won. Dale Jr. finished second. But yeah, Carl came down on him because the thing with the double yellow line rule, which is horseshit, is if you go below the double yellow line, you're disqualified. Sometimes, depends on who you are.
Unless you're Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah, or Denny Hamlin, or Dale Jr. Denny has a win going below the yellow, and Dale Jr.
I'd have to see the tape.
I'll show it to you. But it depends on when they call it. So Carl started coming down on him, and Brad just held his line at the yellow line and turned him, flipped him. And that started a whole feud too. But I didn't realize that this random car that I'd never seen would win.
Would win the race.
Yeah, I thought Dale Jr. won. And they're like, Brad Keselowski won this race.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good for Brad.
I knew kind of Brad, but yeah, that was Brad's first win. And I was there. And that's I promise you that highlight will get played. Because they'll be like, can Brad win again? He's tied with Dale Earnhardt for the most wins at Talladega. Brad is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll play that replay this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favorite memory. All right, we'll close up. What are you watching this week?
I think it's.
Watching home.
Well, I think that the race is going to be on.
My fiance wants to be with me,
I
gotta watch it home.
I think the race is going to be on Monday.
I think we'll.
And so I'll be watching it at work.
Okay.
In my cubicle, and hiding it from my boss. That's where I'll be watching it. It's going to be tough doing watching the race on my phone and then also updating my fantasy lineup. So bear with me. What are you watching?
I'll probably be about the same. I think it will be on Monday.
Yeah. I hope not. The rain kind of cleared out a little bit.
I haven't looked at the forecast, but
It's supposed to stop at 2.
Okay.
But it takes 2 hours to dry. So let's say it gets started at 4:30 and then it gets dark at 8. So
I mean, they don't have lights there.
They do not.
So
yeah. So
and they want to start the race at like 3. So
yeah.
That's another topic for another day. I don't know why we're not starting. There's no lights there. Why would we start at 3?
That's stupid.
We're already fucking
start at 12
to begin with.
Yeah. Well, it's going to rain till 2 anyway, so you're not going to start till 4 o'clock anyway.
So they'll probably try to get halfway and then
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What a way to end this.
What a way.
Give me a positive note.
Well, on a positive note here, I did want to talk about a Drop the Green contest here.
Yeah.
So for anyone who is still listening on this YouTube video, just comment a 9 for their last race winner to let us know that you made it to the end of the podcast, and there'll be a drawing for a special prize.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
So if you've been watching, just comment a 9, and there's a drawing for a special prize. We're probably going to do it over a couple episodes here.
Yeah. I think we'll probably do a diecast.
Yeah, okay.
Get a nice diecast.
Yeah, so if thank you all for watching and for hearing our events, and again, I appreciate you guys having me on the podcast.
Yeah,
so,
anytime. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get Spencer back because I don't know how to work any of this.
Spencer, please come back.
Yeah, Spencer, please come back. But
yeah.
I appreciate you, Colby, for filling in.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Last minute,
yes.
2 hours before. But
yeah,
thank you all for watching.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see ya.